Start that. All right. Welcome to The Outsiders, a Colombian National Team podcast or videocast. I'm not really sure what it's going to be for Colombians like myself who are outside of Colombia, or just anybody who is just interested in the Colombian National Team in general. Yesterday, some bombs got dropped. Some heavy news came out of Italy. Our main starter left back, Frank Fabra, tore his ACL during practice. For some people who might not know what an ACL is, it's one of the main ligaments that keeps your knee and stabilized and aligned. I mean, there's four in total. There's like the MCL, the LCL, the PCL, and the ACL. And the ACL is actually pretty crucial, and it's hard, man, because it's not like a muscle. It's not something that could, that you could work out to keep fit or to make it less injury prone. It's just a ligament, and then once it's gone, it's gone. And he's gonna be out for 7 to 8 months, which sucks because obviously he misses the World Cup, but he's also gonna miss what remains of the Copa Libertadores, and he's gonna probably lose his spot in Boca Juniors, which is, on a personal level for him, it's super devastating because he fought a lot to get to that point, to get that starting position in Boca Juniors, and he was pretty much their go-to guy for that position. So yeah, it's for him, it's devastating. For a national team, it's pretty devastating, but it's not all bad news. How did he get injured, or how do you tear your ACL? Well, I mean, he probably got caught flat-footed. I don't know, a rookie mistake. From what I've read from people that were watching the practice, he was receiving a pass. He turned to pass the ball or to make a movement, and like I said, he kept his foot on the ground, spun his knee around, and that's usually how you tear your ACL. I guess it was like a little brain fart. I guess that happened where he didn't follow through with his foot on the turn. I'm not really sure, but he didn't get hit by anyone. There was no one around him. No one tackled him. It was just that. And I mean, like, if you want to see what it might feel like to tear your ACL, but if you like put your foot forward while you're standing up, and then you put some weight down on it, and you kind of move forward your knee, your body forward towards your knee, you kind of feel that all that pressure building up on your knee, and then all you have to do is just make a turn, and then that's it. I mean, don't try this at home. Don't tear your ACL while I'm fucking explain to you guys how it could have been done. I mean, a good way to avoid that, and a lot of soccer coaches teach this, is to stay at the ball, on the balls of your feet, just because then all that pressure doesn't go on your knees. It goes on the muscle. And even if you do that same thing I was telling you about, where you put your foot down, you put weight on it, and you move forward a bit, and you feel that pressure, and then as soon as you go on your balls of your feet, that pressure it's not on your knee anymore. Now it's spread out on your leg. And it's better to tear a muscle than an ACL, because like I said, an ACL, that's it, man. He's probably not gonna be the same player again, and that sucks. It's actually pretty shitty news for him. But like I was saying, for Colombia, it's not all bad news. In his spot, there Peckerman called Johan Mojica. It's almost like Peckerman knew what was gonna happen, because it just so happens that right there is Johan Mojica waiting to take his spot. And Johan Mojica was doing well anyways prior to the World Cup. He looked pretty strong, and a lot of people were saying that eventually it looked like he was gonna take that spot from Fabra anyways, just because of the way he was playing. But it's weird, man, because I think it's good. I'm not saying it's good that these injuries come out now before the World Cup, because he's injured and he's out of it. But I mean, in a way, it's good, because now we don't have our 23, and now we can't call any more people. We're gonna have to have someone become a left back, and that's not their natural position. So in a way, this is kind of good that all these injuries come out prior to the World Cup, so players don't get injured during the World Cup. Johan Mojica, he plays a left back. He plays for Girona in La Liga. He's been doing pretty good for them. He's been doing pretty well for Girona. I'm pretty sure he's almost become their undisputed starter in that position, or he's been playing a lot in that position. From what I've seen, like I said, I thought he was doing better than Frank Fabra recently, and he's about, I think, 2 years younger than Frank Fabra, so he has a little bit more pace, a little bit more energy, and I don't know. There's just something about Mojica that I like. Even randomly when the 35 players got called up, and other Colombian players were going to the training grounds, everybody was arriving in their like nice cars and everything, and their SUVs. And Johan Mojica took a taxi and then just walked right in. The security guard, as you can tell, he's like, "What the hell's going on?" And they interviewed him in Gol Caracol. And I guess they were just filming the gate, and all of a sudden they turn around and like Johan Mojica's walking up, and they're like, "What? What's going on? Why is he walking?" But yeah, I don't know. There's something special about him, and I think maybe the stars are aligning, and then he plays really, really well in the World Cup. But the replacement for him, because there has to be a backup for Johan Mojica, is Farid Diaz. And like I said in a couple of previous podcasts before, Farid Diaz plays for Olimpia in Paraguay, and he's a bit on the older side. I think he's 34 or 35, so he doesn't have that pace. And I don't think he's the type of left back Peckerman really wants, or not really wants, but just because Farid would change the style up a lot, like really, really drastically. They would have to change the team completely tactically to be able to fit him in that spot if he does play for some reason. So fingers crossed that Johan Mojica doesn't get injured. Yeah, so the strongest contender for replacing Frank Fabra is Farid Diaz. There's been there's been rumors that they saw him saying goodbye to his family at the airport in Asunción, heading towards Italy. So he's probably going to join them either Sunday, June 10th, or Monday, the 11th. So we'll probably get a confirmation for sure of what is the deal with Farid Diaz or who's replacing Frank Fabra. Who knows, man? He might even just make Cuadrado a left back and then call Cardona up, and then there'll be mass hysteria just of how lucky Cardona is, because he just always gets that lucky. And that's it. That's all I wanted to say. This was a quick one just because of the news that came out from Italy, which was pretty drastic. But people need to calm down. It's not that bad. It's not all bad news. We have Johan Mojica. He's pretty good in that position, in that left back position, and we don't have to get in panic mode, because I think we're still in good hands. Anyways, all right. Thank you for listening. The next podcast I'm planning on doing, and hopefully everyone sticks around for that one or listens to that one, is my breakdown of Group H. And I'm trying to analyze the teams the best as I can. I went down the rabbit hole, and I'm still going down the rabbit hole on a couple of points I want to talk about each national team. And I guess, yeah, so what I want to do, yeah, so I'm going to talk about each national team. I want to talk about Colombia's journey and how the travel time might affect them, because Russia's pretty huge, as we all know. I think it's the largest country or continent in the world, so getting from one end to the other is going to be pretty difficult. And from what I know right now, the airport that Colombia's in, the town or the city that they're in has the airport 1 hour outside of the city, so it's gonna take that time to get to the airport. Then they have to fly out, and then they have to land, which is, it's like, I don't know, it's gonna be like two hours of travel time just trying to get to, from not even on the plane, but just trying to get to the airport and out of the airport and stuff like that. But anyways, that's something I want to touch on, because I think it's important just to know the attitude and how much rest the players get, because like I said, there's almost a game every 4 to 5 days, and they're not going to be easy games. They're high intensity games, every single one of them. So that's it for me. Look out for that one. I think I'll probably try to put it out for Tuesday. And man, the World Cup is like 4 days away. Excitement. Anyways, all right, thank you for listening. Let me know what you guys want me to cover on Group H. I already have like a whole set of topics that I covered anyways, that I did some research on. But if anybody just let me know if anybody wants something in particular, and I'll take a look. Anyways, peace out.